Hello, BookTube. Have a bit of a book haul and a CD haul. So I was out and about a little bit today, not much. And I thought I'd show you what I got, what I picked up. So I'm going to start with the CDs, just so I can get them out of the way here and move them off the table. This is part of the Schulte collection, Sir George Schulte, and this is Mahler's Symphony No. 5. So you see they did like a, well, see if I can do this without glare. This is always going to be a problem here. And then here you go. And then Everybody's Opera. You can see some of the big stars. Cecilia Bartoli, let's see, Luciano, Placido Domingo. Looks like a pretty large selection. And I saw some Joan Sutherland was in there. Andrea Bocelli, obviously from the cover. Bjorling. Renata Tebaldi. So looks good. Then this is Immortal Beloved, Gary Oldman. This is the original motion picture soundtrack, and it's quite good. So Beethoven. Glad to have this. I actually may have this. I have a lot of over in the window here piles of CDs, but I also have 3 big of those black type zip up notebooks full of them. I wish I hadn't gotten rid of the cases, but I took the cases and the librettos or covers and put them in there, and they were easy to remove. But now I wish I still had the cases. So the next one is the Canadian Brass, Monteverdi, New York Philharmonic, Boston Symphony Orchestra, and there's that. I enjoy the Canadian Brass. I've got a few. I think I have the best of Canadian Brass and a few of the other albums. So there's that. And then I have an Otello Verdi, but this one is Sir George Schulte, Chicago Symphony Orchestra and Chorus with Pavarotti, Tekonawa. So I was happy to get this. All these cost 50 cents. So, and the same with the books, they were all 50 cents. So that's it on the music. On the books, so I got Martin Stannard's Evelyn Waugh, The Later Years, 1939 to 1966. This, The Later Years, W.W. Norton and Company, New York. So this follows the early years, which was 1903 to 1939. And this one here was First American edition, 1992. I am planning on reading, I got a beat up old copy of Brideheads Revisited that's lined up, ready to go. So I thought it'd be fun to get this, and even though I don't have the first one, that's fine. It's got the pictures. Let's see what else we got here. And looks like it has pretty good index. Not sure about it's like bibliography, so it looks like it might be interesting. And then his son, Auberon Waugh, who I know very little about. Path of Dalliance, well, I don't know much about Evelyn Waugh either. I do know that when he was doing his military service, he took a couple machine gun bullets to the chest through an accident that he was the cause of, and he suffered for it all of his life. And I do know he was a little more known for his nonfiction, probably because when you're the son of a novelist, I'm not sure how much you'd want to compete, but maybe you would. This next one was a thrill. This is nonfiction. This is The Gunfighter, Man or Myth by Joseph G. Rosa, University of Oklahoma Press, Norman, Oklahoma. I have several volumes from that press, both archaeology and Western history, which have always seemed to have been good. And I think they did a lot of Mesoamerican stuff and South American stuff too. So This is so it's going to discuss. This was originally published. This is like the 19th printing. Oh no, it isn't. It's the 11th printing, and this was originally came out in 1969. It's going to discuss the myth and real life gunfighters, the weapons, obviously, the culture of the West at the time, and it sounds like it's going to be fascinating. The gunfighter was a man bred in a lawless and violent era of civil war, range wars, and greed for land and gold. He played a real and deadly part in the period where men were conditioned to settle differences with gunplay. He shot and fought and killed throughout Texas in the struggle with Mexico, along the Kansas-Missouri border, and up and down the cattle trails. Black powder and smoke from his guns darkened the Kansas cow towns and the far west mining camps. What part of the gunfighter legends is true, and what part a novelist or screenwriter's fantasy? What has been the gunfighter's influence on American society, and for that matter, on world society? For there is no doubt that the shoot-'em-up, gun-toting hero of the early West is a figure of interest and sympathy to people all over the world. Well documented and rich with illustrations of gunfights and gunmen, this book is a real find for gunfighter buffs, as well as for all readers interested in knowing what the Wild West was really like. So we'll see if we can dispel some of the myths that I probably believe in. Okay, and then this next one is part of the Gramercy Great Poets series, which I've never seen before. This is Samuel Taylor Coleridge. Selected poems. A little excerpt from Kubla Khan on the cover. There's the title page with a list of some of the other collections. Gramercy Books, New York. And this came out in 1996. So we have Rime of the Ancient Mariner, Christabel. See what else we got a whole load of stuff here. Print's pretty decent. So glad to have that. Then on a totally different note, I have not read this. I like Fred Saberhagen, so this is Fred Saberhagen, Merlin's Bones. See if I do that without all that glare. Pretty decent cover there. Let me read you a little bit about, well maybe, is this a book club? No, this is not a book club. This is Tor. Out of New York, Tom Doherty Associates book. It's from 1995, first edition. I've got his Book of Swords, or some of them. In Merlin's Bones, Saberhagen's latest novel, the New York Times bestselling author takes on the greatest challenge yet, the total redefinition of Arthurian mythos. Not very long after the death of King Arthur, a troop of strolling players, on the run from a brutal king, amble into a bit of land where a strangely unfinished palace stands. There, young Amby, a clever, magically attuned performer, discovers the secret hiding place of Merlin's bones, and so becomes embroiled in a deadly struggle that will completely upturn his existence. It seems that many people are interested in the great wizard's remains. Beautiful and cat-like Morgan Le Fay, a ruthless, power-hungry Mordred, Elaine Brussin, a skeptical 21st century physicist, Hakon, the leader of an ambitious Viking party, and most of all, old Merlin himself. I would think he'd have interest. Mixing magic and legendary personas with high-energy physics, Merlin's Bones is a thrilling, constantly surprising page-turner, without a doubt the startling product of the most fertile imagination. So I could not pass that up for 50 cents. And then the last one is It Was Never About the Babe. The Red Sox, racism, mismanagement, and the curse of the Bambino. So the Babe they're talking about is Babe Ruth, who was a pitcher and a doggone good one with the Boston Red Sox, and then obviously a legendary hitter. And the Red Sox were an early powerhouse in baseball, winning multiple world championships, and then once Babe left, more as a symptom than as a cause, the Red Sox had a long, long drought. until the next World Championship, and they've had several since that drought was ended. But I have not read this. The subtitle sounds fantastic. I have heard, of course, there's the old owner, Tom Yockey, that when other teams integrated and didn't let race dictate who was going to be the best players, of course, those teams did way better than Red Sox, who apparently limited their options. So I'll be interested to read that as a Red Sox fan. So and I got the baseball book right now, ready for spring already. So that is it on the books here. Let me do this. I'll make a little bit of a Steve pyramid here. I got these for music. I got a few CDs here. Yeah, see? Not a bad day's work. Hope everyone's doing well, and we will see you later.